Welcome back to the kitchen at Andersen Acres. Today we are going to make a Havarti bread. Now you can use any cheese you like. Havarti is not the only cheese in the world. It is one of my favorites. So you want to chop up or grate a bunch of Havarti cheese before you get started. Now it doesn't really matter if you chop it or grate it, just don't drop it in one big hunk. That's not going to work. So I've chopped mine because I prefer not grating because grating is kind of not that much fun for me. I'm sure a lot of people don't like grating. So you just cut it into little chunks, okay? It's not really a big deal. It works just as well. It gets pretty mashed into the bread maker anyway, so it doesn't really matter, especially if you're using a bread maker. But it doesn't matter because it melts in the oven anyway. So I'm using Havarti. You can use mozzarella, you can use cheddar, you can use Monterey Jack. If you want something a little spicier, you could absolutely use something like a habanero, a cheese with habanero or jalapeno in it. You could use any cheese you like as long as it is kind of a firmer cheese. So don't try to use a cheese that has is liquid or loose. A soft cheese, use a harder cheese. So this is Havarti, but whatever you like. Okay, so to get started, we want 3 eggs. This is an egg-rich dough, and it's using milk and it's using cheese because what is the point of having a cheese loaf if you do not also have a nice rich dough? So I just like to crack my eggs in a bowl, especially because my eggs do come out of my farmyard. And you never know, but even when you buy eggs, you should crack them separately because every once in a while there's something in one. So 3 eggs. Oh, I'm really bad at cracking eggs, just so everybody understands that. I'm horrible at cracking eggs. You'd think I'd be better at it, being a person who raises chickens and handles eggs every day, but I'm actually really bad at it. I crack them on the table because cracking them on the bowl for me, always results in shell everywhere. Every time I smack them on the edge of the bowl, it goes through so far, it ruptures my yolk, and there's a shell everywhere, and this is just safer for me. So that's my 3 eggs. Okay, 3 eggs. Then you want 2/3 of a cup of very slightly warm milk. Doesn't have to be very warm, just slightly warmed. So just take the chill off it. And you want to put in, now if you're shredding your cheese, you'll have about half a cup of cheese. Okay, so you want about half a cup of your Havarti cheese, or whatever cheese you like. Like I said, any cheese you like. Okay, it doesn't matter. Then you're going to want about 1/3 of a cup of butter. Okay, 1/3 of a cup of butter makes this a really nice smooth dough. Move this over here just because I'm right-handed. 2 tablespoons of just regular sugar. That goes in next. 1 teaspoon of salt. 3 cups of white flour. Okay. And 1 heaping teaspoon of yeast. Now I'm using the bread maker. You can of course make this by hand as well. I alternate between whether I'm using the bread maker and whether I'm not. So breads that are this easy, I just use the bread maker. It doesn't matter. Something like my twisted rye, that you really need to make by hand. So it depends. Today we're doing the bread maker. So we're going to pop this in the bread maker. It will handle the mixing, kneading, and the first rise for us. So when the first rise has been completed, we will come back and take a look at our dough. So our Havarti dough is finished, or whatever cheese you used. So it should feel quite like a marshmallow. Okay, and you might actually be able to almost feel that there's cheese in this dough. Okay, it's a very lovely dough. I had someone ask me why I roll my dough around my mat. It's to pick up the flour that I spilled when I was putting the flour in the bread maker. So just to answer that. That's why I do that. That's why you see me do that. Anyway, back to the loaf. We're just going to shape it. Okay, what we're going to do to shape this one, because it has cheese, I like to really make sure there's no air bubbles. So, yeah, I'm just going to give it a few smacks. Kind of pull it into a rectangle. I'm just showing you different ways to shape loaves in some of these videos. You can shape it however you like. Okay, so I'm just going to pull it into a rectangle. Okay, pull and press until all the air bubbles are out, because there's nothing more annoying than an air bubble being where it shouldn't. Okay, so I am going to pull one side to the center, poke, press, poke, press. I'm not going to press too much on the edge because I want this edge to stay kind of flat. So you can shape it however you like. Here's just another way to shape a loaf. Pull this one to the center. Pull, press, 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 press. Again, I'm not mucking with the edging. Okay, I am trying to make sure there's not a lot of air bubbles trapped in there, but I'm not playing too much with the edging. Then I'm going to pull this guy to the middle. Press, press, press. Pull this guy to the middle. This has cheese in it, so I'm actually trying to make this dough a little bit flakier. Okay, press it out again. So this is giving me some layers, so that it has cheese. It should flake a little bit. Yeast dough doesn't become too flaky because of the yeast, but it can still be fantastic when you do just a little bit of layering. Just wait till we make croissants and you'll see layering for real. Okay, so we've done that. We folded in, oh, little air bubble, don't want an air bubble. So we folded in both long sides and then we folded in the short sides to the center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this bottom layer and roll it up so that we trap everything inside it. Same on the other side. We're going to take that bottom layer, roll it up, and pinch that sucker closed. He may not want to. Too bad for him. He's getting pinched closed whether he likes it or not. So you pinch that closed, you pinch your edge closed, and then you've trapped a bunch of layers in there. You don't have to form your roll this way. You can just make your loaf in any way you like. But I really wanted to trap some layers inside there, some different layers, so it has a little bit of flakiness to it because there's a lot of cheese, a lot of butter, a lot of milk in this one. So then we roll it, and you see it's coming apart again, so we just do that. Is that something? No. Wait. Oh, sorry. It was on my glasses. That wasn't anything. That was on my glasses. So again, we just pinch that seam again and go back to rolling it and patting it. Just trying to get that bottom pretty smooth. We don't want that seam to come undone when we're baking. We're not going to use a bread pan. Okay, we're absolutely not going to use a bread pan for this. We're just going to leave it on my cookie sheet, which I'll pull out in a minute. But we'll just see what I'm doing. I'm actually pulling this dough up between my palm, into my palm here, and then squeezing with my fingers. That often helps if you're having a dough that won't stick together because you're grabbing the entire portion of it and squeezing. So it just helps keep your dough together. It's kind of like almost making a caterpillar out of your dough. And then we roll it back. Okay, so it won't come undone. Again, this end. So you just want to play with it until it's looking the way you want it to look. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. Your doughs absolutely do not have to be perfect. If you like the way it looks, you go with it, even if it's not perfect, because you're ultimately going to eat it. So does it have to be perfect? I don't think so. I do not think it has to be super perfect. Okay? If you need your dough to kind of relax a little bit, you just kind of smack. I know it looks like I'm beating my dough up, but seriously, giving it a few smacks, one, helps move air bubbles along so that they don't get stuck, but it also helps kind of equalize your dough. You see, when I do that, I get a dough that's more uniform in width and thickness. So you can do that. You can do lots of stuff. It's up to you. I do like to make it a little bit longer. So I'm going with, yeah, about a 12-inch loaf here. That's what I'm doing. And that's why I have my handy-dandy measurements on here. And then I have my nice little cookie sheet that I've used a dozen times. You know, this one shows up in a lot of my videos. That's okay. The silicone mat shows up in every single video. So at least the cookie sheet doesn't show up in as many. So there we go. It's looking pretty much the way I want it, except at this end I want to pinch it a little bit. So once you have it looking how you want it, set it aside in a warm, damp location to rise. Okay, this dough rises pretty well because it is full of moisture because of the cheese. So it should rise up pretty well, but you still want to keep it protected from drying out because once the dough dries out, it doesn't really rise. So we're going to set it aside for about an hour before we come back and bake it. So we'll come check on our dough in about 1 hour. All right, our Havarti loaf has risen up nice and pretty. I'm just doing a little fixing on the edges. Sometimes you have to do that before something goes in the oven. So we're just going to take our bread lame, which I have standing by. You've seen it in plenty of videos. So just take our bread lame and we're just going to make 3 gashes. Go not super deep, maybe 1/4 of an inch. This is just so that when it rises up, it doesn't completely split on you, and it also makes it look really nice. We're not going to coat it with anything. We're not going to wash it with anything. We're just going to put it in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes. We want it golden. We do not want it dark. So we're not going to bake it for 30 minutes or more. We're going to stick to about 25, maybe 27 minutes, depending on your oven. So stick it in the oven, 375, and check it at 25 minutes. We'll be back with our finished loaf. So our Havarti loaf has just come out of the oven. It's looking quite delicious. It's very, very hot. Now a note about breads that have a lot of cheese in them. You do need to let them sit at least 20 minutes because they're not quite set. Because remember, cheese melts. So because cheese melts, the inside will be kind of a little bit melty and it needs at least 20 minutes to sit before you can slice it. So let your loaf sit. Also remember that if you don't want to use Havarti cheese, you can sub it for any cheese you want. If you like cheddar, if you like mozzarella, if you like Monterey Jack, whatever you like, you can use in place of the Havarti. I used Havarti because I love Havarti, but any hard cheese will work. Just either grate it or cube it. So let your bread cool and then enjoy. I hope you have enjoyed making this Havarti loaf with us today. I hope you return to the kitchen with us next time. And if you do want to see more videos like this, remember to subscribe so that you can keep notified whenever we post a new video. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow.